And okay, hello. Welcome to the National Guild Washington Chapter Hypnosis meeting. I'm Dani Green. I'll be presenting today. And we want to let you know why it's a great thing to become a member of NGHWA. So NGH, National Guild of Hypnotists, is a national society that you can belong to. One of the reasons I belong to it is because it offers insurance for my hypnosis business. Also, they have great conferences, one main conference throughout the year, and a lot of online resources. But then we have our local Washington chapter, which is just a bunch of hypnotherapists and different practitioners in the area. We get together once a month on the second Saturday from 10 to noon, right now at various library locations, but we do hope to settle down to one location. And the benefit of coming to our meetings, which are free for now, is that you get to learn about a particular hypnosis strategy from a presenter. You also get to network with other hypnotherapists, and we're just one big happy family. The other thing that we'll be doing in December is we're going out to dinner and together on December 9th. So we do have a newsletter that we send out, MailChimp newsletter once a week. So be sure to check us out online, NGHWA, and subscribe to our newsletter and be a part of the hypnosis family in the area. So I am presenting today on the spirituality of business. Jim, is there anything else I should add? We have our president here. Anything? You're good? Anything else?
Still looking for volunteers.
Oh, yes, we are still looking for volunteers. We are going to have a World Hypnosis Day on January 6th, 2024. And we do need a fundraiser, someone who's great about getting sponsorships for that. And we're still looking for an event space, and our board member Jody's working on that. And so, email us through the website. Thank you so much for that reminder. I could tell there's a look on Jim's face like, I think there's something more she should have said. No, of course, no. I scan the crowd. I scan the crowd and just see, did I miss anything? Absolutely. That's great. All right, super. So what I'm speaking on today is called the spirituality of business. And it's a topic that I've presented before, but every time I present it, it's just new because I think about what each audience, that I have, or guests that I have. So I'll just start with the handout you have, and we're going to send a link to this recording in our newsletter, and I'll send a document link as well. So this, I don't know how many page handout I have here today, is made available to anyone watching online or listening to the recording later. So what is spirituality? When I looked up spirituality in the dictionary, it said it's a relating to or affecting the human spirit or soul as opposed to material or physical things. And I thought, well, that's not right. I'm sorry, Webster. Spirit is not opposed to material things. Spirit or separate from. Spirit infuses material things, not only us, but the planet, the animals, the plants, the water, everything is spirit infused. So that's the first point that I wanted to make about spirituality. Then the next question might be, well, what is business? Why do we have a business? Of course, we need to make a living. And we want to, hopefully our business is something that we feel is congruent and aligned with our temperament and worldview and everything. And also, we hope our business is making a positive difference in others' lives. So how can we kind of marry those two things together so that we feel spiritually motivated to do our business from day to day? Now, some people might question the concept of spirituality. I have a concept in my program called soul power. So people might think I'm, kind of religious or something. I used to be, I'm not anymore. And, but I actually discovered the power of my own soul within my own body on October 31st, 2013. So, God knows I have trouble with dates. So October 31st, 2013, all I have to do is transpose those two numbers and I get the exact year. So let me tell you what's happening. I was working for a somewhat small organization, happened to be a church. It wasn't really a positive place for me because I have super, really wide worldview, and I was trying to keep it contained within the worldview that I was working within. And I just happened to stay home from work that day. The night before, we went to a church thing. I was trying not to cry, and a soulful person named Shar suggested a book that I should listen to. So I got it on Audible and sat at my kitchen table and listened to all 4 hours, because if Shar tells me to listen to something, I'm jumping on it, right? And the book was called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. And in that book, he talks about there's a part we create from that is immovable, indestructible. And it can't be affected by anything society did, or your work environment, or your parents. And I went, oh, there's something deep inside of me that isn't affected by my current situation. And I all of a sudden felt okay. I felt like I didn't know that I've always been okay. I'm okay today, and I will always be okay, because there's an immovable, indestructible part of me. Fast forward to 2014, December 31st at 5:30 in the evening, I left my church job and I said, okay, God, what else do you have for healing and transformation? Because that's all I was about and have been about, even as a high schooler. And so I started asking that question. 2 weeks later, we went to our daughter's wedding in India, and our son-in-law had a cultural evening with us to explain what it's like to be in India. And so then, which was great, the people there are great. And I said, well, how do I greet my new family? Because, in some cultures, how you greet people is super important. And he said, well, to the men, just say namaste. And to the women, you can say namaste, and you can hug them. And, I must have missed this in yoga class, but I did not know what namaste meant. And I said, well, what does namaste mean? And he said, the divine in me greets the divine in you. And all of a sudden, the divinity of the human family, I just felt it radiate in my mindset to the entire world. And I realized we are all divine. We are all the same. There's no us and them, so I always use we when I talk about the world now. But so that was just like, blew my mind. And then I asked the question, what else is out there for healing and transformation? I got back from India, and I listened to a book called The Science of Being Great by Wallace Wattles. He has a 3-series book, but that one is probably the best. And in that book, he said, obey your soul. And it was almost like I thought, I knew it. I've always known that, but I didn't know I knew it until it was revealed to me in that book, The Science of Being Great by Wallace Wattles. And then I thought back to October 31st, 2013, and that's what I found that day, is my soul. And so I paid I was just starting my business. I paid a business coach $6,000 to coach me for 6 months. And in the beginning of that, she talked to me for 2 hours to try to figure out what it was all about. And she goes, well, I guess you're about soul power, aren't you? And I went, $3,000 per word. Thank you very much. I appreciate that clarity. And that's why I use that concept. So in your handout, we're going to talk about, actually, there's a 2-page kind of journaling thing that you're going to do, but I just want to turn to the second page, which is It says, activate your soul power, live your infinite greatness, be your own hero. 6 essentials to activating your soul power. And so this is a guided meditation I have online. You also, if you click on this on the bottom screen of my website, you'll come up with this. But I started listening, like, is soul being represented in the world? Because, if there's something new happening in the cosmos, we're all hearing the same thing and moving in that direction. And so there's about 40 words that I found that represent soul in that meditation. My favorite word is home. I'm really at home within myself because of my own spirituality and soul. Another one that I snuck in there, if you know the Bible, is the word the pearl. The pearl. There's a Bible story about the pearl. And it is that within you. Yeah. So there's a lot of different things that I think are beautiful about recognizing your soul. So I just wanted to highlight that list. And so as I've worked on my own self, I'm way less reactive. I'm not a victim anymore of anything. I have grown so much in the last 8 years, developing this and meeting with clients, that I decided to pull out some mantras that I think will help us in our business. And so if you turn back to the very first page, I just want to point out the very first page, the first mantra is, I am divine, I am human, or I've got it listed, I am divine and human. So in the Indian culture, in India, in Hindu belief, I learned this from Deepak Chopra, that they believe that there's an Atman soul, that ATAM, that is your divine self that follows you from, the prior realm to this lifetime to the next realm. And that is unchanging and eternal. And that's the soul that I'm talking about, our own divinity. I even say that it's sinless. And it's so nice just to walk around the world and go, actually, I'm sinless. There's a part of me that's sinless, right? But then there's another part of the soul that they define called your jiva soul. And that soul is what suffers with you on the human planet, within your humanity. That's the part of us that's evolving with each lifetime. That we're evolving toward love in each lifetime, or this lifetime, depending on your beliefs, is kind of the test case for how you will continue to evolve. And I was just thinking, what if, like, the level of spirituality, since that's the part that goes with us, and our human self, as it evolves in each lifetime, that's our starting point for the next realm, and then we just keep growing and growing and growing, and continue to raise our level of consciousness, highest consciousness. And so anytime we can help someone heal and transform, we're actually helping them elevate as a person to a higher level of being. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful that that's what really we're all about? So just recognize your divinity and humanity is super important. The next one is, I am infinite. And so and I did this meditation with Jim's talk last night. So when you can recognize your soul within your body, hello, Faith, thanks for coming. When you can recognize your soul within your body, and your soul's light, that's part of that activate your soul power meditation that I've written out for you. Then you can imagine your soul's light radiating through your body, filling your body with light and love, and then just breaking through your skin and becoming beyond you. So you may already know that your energy that you emit from your body, emotional energy or whatever energy you have, is measurable in a 12-foot radius around you. So if you can fill that space with your soul and love and light and power and wisdom are a couple of my other concepts, then you're benefiting everyone around you no matter where you go. So then that meditation invites you to imagine the sun, moon, and sky, the sun, moon, and stars, and their light coming towards you. And since light is energy, somewhere in the middle, your personal light joins the light of the sun, moon, and stars and the entire universe and all the galaxies. So all of a sudden, you're not just this person, you're just like, I'm infinite. I can show up anywhere and do anything because I'm not just this person. I'm literally infinite. So that's a really great mindset that empowers me every day. And it might help you, and is a concept that you might share with your clients if it's appropriate. So the next concept is I own my own territory. So this book, again, I found in The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. And he said that we often, or our society puts us in a hierarchy. So we're children and we have parents, and then we're students, we have teachers, and then we're employees and we have bosses, right? And so we kind of have to fit within that hierarchy. And there's other hierarchies that shall remain nameless. But instead of that, we can say that I own my own territory. I have every right to be where I am right now. Whether I'm home, going to the grocery store, working with a client, speaking, writing, anything, I own my territory. This really helped me. I was a board member of a network meeting, and each board member was to present a little concept at the network meeting. And every time a board member spoke, the president would stand up and restate what she said. So I felt like I couldn't ever say it well enough because the president would restate what I just said or mention something that I hadn't mentioned. And so I'm looking at Jim like, I think I missed something there. But anyway, and so I was just like, every meeting, I'm like, okay, I'll keep doing it. But you keep I felt a little bit wrecked if it could have just been me. Anyway, so then when I realized that I own my own territory, I just stepped in there as secretary of that group and said what I had to say, and who cares what she says next, right? Because I own that position and I own what I'm doing. So it just gives you the authority to be you, no matter where you are, when you can consider your life in that way. All right. The next concept is abundance is everywhere. Okay, so when this concept came to me, it was almost like I smoked pot, which I did once in junior high, but that's it.
And you did inhale, right?
I don't even know if I knew how. So the concept of abundance is everywhere. If you're just to look, just even at your clothing, at the carpet, at the leaves on the trees, the grass, the molecules that make up the cement outside, the actual molecules that are making up your table, there is abundance everywhere, all the time. There's always, always, always enough. And so when I could see abundance everywhere, I don't go anywhere with any sense of lack at all, because I can just see it everywhere now. I use this concept for money, my money lesson for the soul power experience, that abundance is everywhere and money is infinite. My accountant husband doesn't see that point of view, but I said, well, you can't spend money infinitely. You do have to keep track of the actual numbers, but the source of your money is infinite because it comes from love, it comes from God, it comes from the universe, it comes from source. If you're out of money, you're going to be praying. You're going to be asking for the next inspired idea to make more money, right? So as long as you can see that that even money is infinite in its source of creativity and great ideas to make more money, you don't really even have to worry about money anymore either. So that is one of the concepts that I use in my money lesson. All right, so let's move on to the next concept, life as teacher. So this concept came to me when I had a client who had a really important business meeting. She was going to try to sell her company to happen to be a man. I'm just stating facts here. And she really wanted to succeed. So she came in and our first session became the life as teacher concept. Our second session, we invited, I don't know what, anyway, we had two of the three sessions she came in for to get ready for this experience. The second session, she actually envisioned the meeting that they would be in. And then she put, wherever this gentleman was sitting, she put the Holy Spirit between her and him, and Jesus beside her, and God just there. And we pre-acted the whole planning. So, and she did not leave anything on the table for that meeting. She was able to sell her meeting, her business. She was able to be in charge of that meeting and get everything she wanted. So it was just fantastic. But in order for her to get there, we did life as teacher. And this person was one of the most random thinking clients I've ever had. It's like, okay, God, how are we ever going to wrap this up? Because she was all over the place in what she wanted to share, which is fine. Complaining, I'm just explaining. And so I finally just came up with this concept. I said, so I'd like to know your very first failure. When did you fail? Oh, in my class, when I was a third grader, something happened where she felt like a failure. She had been divorced. She felt like that was a failure. And, just different things in her life. So she would name a failure. And then I'd say, so what did you learn? Well, I learned this. And how did that make you stronger? So what did you learn? And how did that make you stronger? So anything in your business, if you feel like you're failing at something or not achieving something that you want to, what have you learned? What is it teaching you? And how is it making you stronger? And so she went back to her business partner, and a marketing plan that they had paid for wasn't happening. And she goes, and her business partner said, boy, you seem really positive. And she said, well, you know what? I can't fail at anything. Anything we go through, we'll learn from it. It'll make us stronger. Isn't that great? And then she went into that meeting with that individual. So that's the concept of life as teacher. So, if there's anything in your life that you feel you've failed at before, just really meditate on what you learned from it and how does it make you stronger. And one person said to me, well, whatever, they had named something really negative they've gone through. Well, and I'm like, well, that probably taught you that you never want to go through that again. You never want to walk that particular road again, if you can help it. So everything can teach us and make us stronger. The next concept is I have been, I am, and I will be as able as I am. So this came to me because I think it's Maya Angelou has a quote that when you know better, do better. But what do we do when we know better and can't do better? There's things preventing us from the doing better. And that our clients often, that's why they come to us, right? For healing and transformation. So I thought, well, okay, God, what's the answer to that? And the answer is, I am able. I'm as able as I am. I have been as able as I was. If there's things that I did that were not, I always try to follow through on things, but I wasn't always brave to confront things. And those kind of a little bit haunt me, so I needed an answer. So anyway, but I was as able back then as I was. Just let it go. And I'm as able as I am today. And in the future, I will be as able as I will be. And we can't be any more able than we are, because then we're kind of trying to be someone we're not right now in the present moment. The present moment matters the most. So that just kind of lets you off the hook, like, it's okay, I'm as able as I am. And then I figure, hey, whatever I don't get done in this lifetime, I'll just pick up and do in the next. So it's all good. No stress, no pressure. Maybe I will need a little pressure, but anyway. All right. Then the final concept that might help you personally and in your business is I'm always on the best path. And this concept came to me. We had an Airbnb couple stay at our Airbnb, which I've since closed. Thank God. It was a lot of work, but it brought in money, so that was great. And this couple came in, and all of a sudden, the guy emailed me or messaged me, and he said, my girlfriend just left me. We're leaving. I'm leaving I booked, for several nights, but we're just leaving today. And I thought, oh, well, I'm gonna go talk to this poor guy. It was before COVID when I could talk to them. And so I went in there, I'm like, what can I say that will help him on his path? And the words that came to me were, you're always on the right path. So that's what I sent him away with. But then as I meditated on that truth that was downloaded from the universe, I didn't really like the word right in it because we always think we're, morally on the right or the wrong path. And I don't want that ever to be an issue, because it isn't as big of an issue to God as one might think. And so I changed it to the best path. So if your prayer, if your mindset is that you want to do the highest good for, your life, for yourself and for others, then you're always on the best path to accomplish that. Whether you're, whether it's 2 steps forward and, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, you're still on the best path, because you're going to learn from it and grow stronger. So as long as you can have in your psyche, in yourself, the belief that that love is always with you, that the universe and love will always turn what you're going through to the best outcome for you, then you're just always on the best path. So I hope that helps you in your business. So the next thing that you might want to do now, I don't know, I did not, I don't have a timer. The clock's right there though. Oh, good. It's just in half an hour. We've got time. So the next exercise that I use in my projection lesson for the soul power experience, it's actually a 2-part worksheet, but I just captured one part of it. And it's called What I Most Value. So I asked my clients to write 12 words of what they love about themselves. Go ahead and start. So on the second page, what I value most. 12 words, what you love about yourself. Let's get at least 3. And if you're at home, just go ahead and number something 1 to 12. And after you get 3, go ahead and look up. And then I'll tell you how you're going to use the rest of the worksheet. So sometimes my clients have this as a pre-session worksheet, so they can come with it filled out. Some clients don't do their homework, so they bring it unfilled out. And then in the intake, I have them write down as much as they can. And then they can't think of anything else. So during hypnosis, I help them finish it. And if they can't think of still anything to create the 12, then I, close my eyes and discern what I see of them that they don't see in themselves. So it's very important that all 12 slots are filled up eventually. And then what you can do next is you choose 6 of those words. Of those 12 words, which 6 are most important? And then choose 3 of those. And then as you work through this later, because we won't take the time, because it's kind of boring for people, on the camera, just to look at me waiting for you. So then you choose 3 words, and then you choose 1. Those are your marching orders. Does everything you do fulfill that deepest meaning and need in your heart to be on this planet? So for me, if you know anything about me at all, I'm super health conscious. You would not believe how many health regimens I have in my life. Just many, 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 because I really care about my health. And so I spent so much time on my health. So obviously my 3 words were calm. I like to remain calm. I'm all about love. That's easy. And my health, or healthy. Those are my 3 concepts. And my very most important one was love, then calm, then health. And I'm like, oh, I can work on my health because it's important to me, but it doesn't have to be the most important thing to me. Like, chill out, girl. Do your best, love yourself, which I do, but you know what I'm saying? It put health third, and it made me focus on love and calm more and love the most. And it really gave me a direction of how I want to be in the world. So I hope that that will help you in your business. Is your business helping you be your most important value? Or are you integrating 3 of your most important values in your business? I got this strategy from another person, so I'm inviting you to make use of that strategy for yourself. All right. So let me talk about love. I grew up in my mom was a single mom of 4 children. She was bipolar and alcoholic. I finally left her house when I was 12 and went to live with my dad's stepmom in Mount Vernon, Washington. I grew up in North Dakota. It's a great place to be from because it's very, very hot, very, very cold. And there's so many bugs in the summer, you wouldn't believe it. And so I was happy to be out in Washington State, and I received love from my dad that I hadn't known prior to that. Really great. Then, went to college, got married, and but when I was a child, we went to church off and on. And so I would walk on a Sunday evening to this church because they had like songs. They had like a singing time, and I thought that was fun. So I'd leave my house and walk to this church in my dirty, ragged clothes, and I got to sing with them. It was so nice of them. Well, one Sunday, they were going to go sing for another church. And I got to go along in my ragged clothes. So we sang a song from Psalm 23, and the last words of that song completely fell into my being. Little girl, dirty clothes, being real important, right? Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, right? Yes, and I will live in your house forever was the end of that song. And I all of a sudden realized that love was with me. Like, surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. That all of a sudden I had a sense of spirituality I hadn't had before. Fast forward to Mary Lee LeVay's training for hypnotherapy, and she said that you need to identify your spirit guide. And I'm like, oh, if you say so, okay. Close my eyes. She had a meditation that we're supposed to follow, but I wasn't even sure what a spirit guide was or whether I believed in it. And so I followed the meditation, and my spirit guide I discerned was named Simply Love. And she came to me during that song when I was a little. She came to be my guide that time, within my being at that time. And so that was cool. So that's one way that love, really became part of who I am. I was telling Jim's group last night that also what happened to me, I'd heard about, this was a meditation thing that happened, that the word love became an invisible tattoo on my body. And that's a concept that you can use with your clients. Is there a word that you would like to have as part of who you are? You can imagine that it would be an invisible tattoo. What word would you like and where on your body would you like it to be? I mean, simple questions, right? And when you're in hypnosis, it really comes true for you, and then they just walk away, just becoming a new person. So love became written on my body. The L was here, the O across my chest, the V at the top of my legs, and then E was, written along my legs. And love, just this huge word of love, just came written on my body as an invisible tattoo. So literally, I am love. And so that's another way that the concept of love became really important to me. And you can use it for your clients. So on the last part of your worksheet that you had there, it says, what's new? Now that you have a better sense of your personal power, Name 3 ways you are newly inspired to move forward in your business. So maybe something that's been said today or in the, in the next few days will help you become just kind of more of who you are so that you can move forward in your business through challenges or new opportunities. So that's the spirituality of business. If we have a strong sense of our own spirituality, it really does inform and infuse our business and our life and all of our relationships. So that is the worksheet, but I'm going to share with you why I put some other things in there. So you've got your 6 essentials to activating your soul power. The next one is a prayer that I wrote. I added a line to it just last week, so you guys are getting the new and improved prayer. I use this in my bliss lesson for soul power. And as you can see in your packet, there's empty space, and you can meditate on this at a later time. And then it ends with what your life mission is, your life purpose. And it's really nice to spell that out. And then you can write your name and date it and recite this prayer for yourself. But for you, you've got it in front of you, but for our guests here, I'm just going to go ahead and read it, and I'm going to fill in my answers so that people kind of know how it works. I love this one since, well, anyway, that's aside. All right. It's just a prayer. You can use it. You can use the word meditation or sense of focus or whatever word you want to use to describe it. But here it goes. And I shared this at the Hypno conference. There's a group of us standing around, and I thought, well, I think I should follow through by presenting it as well, since I shared it at Jim's conference with a group of a few people. Okay, so it says, infinite source, beloved God of all and Mother Earth, blank, and all ascended masters. So my zip code puts me as Christian. So I said Jesus, the eternal Christ, and all ascended masters, but you get to fill in your own blank there. Holy Spirit of love and the Great Spirit. The archangels, some of you know their names. I just scoop them up in that statement. And my guardian angels. And I would write simply love and my spirit guides, but you can use this as a meditation and find the name of your own spirit guide. And maybe you have many. My loved ones, past, present, present, sorry about the typo there, present and future. So we can learn from our loved ones, and we can call on them to help us. And notice I didn't say ancestors. Maybe you wouldn't want to call on all of them, but the ones that you loved or love you, those positive loved ones that are in your past, present in your life, and future, which is cool because they're not even here yet. And then teachers, past, present, future, because everyone in our life, there are teachers, right? So and then we say, I humbly ask for, and receive your help. Okay, got it. Within me, and without me. I know it's poetic, it means outside of me. Let us join hand in hand in hand. And you're in the middle there. So like, I got one hand, you're in the middle, look at your other hand, they've got you, they're walking with you. So that's why I put 3 hands in there. With my eternal soul and my divinity, because we always want to activate that, and my evolving self and soul, my humanity 4, and write your life purpose. Mine it used to be the emotional and spiritual freedom for the world, but I decided to add the word prosperity in there because why not, right? So mine says for prosperity and the emotional and spiritual freedom for the world. And then namaste and amen, so be it, and you can date it. So I hope that you enjoy meditating on that and coming up with your own words. And then the last handout is what, if you go to my website and you click and you're there for a few seconds, a pop-up will pop up, and you write in your email, and then you'll get this download. And it's 18 universal truths from the soul power experience. So I just went through each of my lessons and kind of summarized some of the takeaways and created this document that you don't have to access by clicking on my website. So that's for your contemplation later as well. So that's everything that I had to present today. If you, let me just see. Let me just see if there's anything else. Yeah. Okay. No, that's everything. Oh, wait. The question that I asked in the summary or the blurb for this meeting time was, how does spirituality help you in guiding your clients to the essence of who they are in the process of transformation? So I'm just wondering how you make use of that, and that might be a really good discussion that we could have. However, because of the recording, if you wanted to comment or add to our learning today, I want you to come stand beside me so there's not this voice speaking. So does anyone else want to share how they've used spirituality or finding the essence of who a client is in their practice of hypnosis and transformation? Okay, Barbara Decker is making her way to the front. Well,
Hey,
just
Dani.
make sure that you're showing up in the camera here.
Okay,
There you go.
right there. As a hypnobirthing practitioner, getting into the field of birthing and motherhood is divine.
Yes.
There is,
Oh.
the mother is divine. And we all had a mother, whether it was a healthy mother or not a healthy mother, but that person gave us life. And so we have within us the ability to be anything that we want to be, no matter what we have in our background. When you can start to trust what you're here for.
Yes.
So spirituality has come into the birthing field with pre-and psychology, because there's so much that we don't know that is intangible, and it has taken science to help people believe what we believe about a baby is actually a conscious human being. And it's taken neuroscience to prove that.
Yes.
But in India, as I had the pleasure of going to India too, and the beauty of Namaste, no matter how poor the individuals are over there, they're in the street, Namaste, wishing. And it puts a grace on any connection that you have. You need to feel your heart. You need to know that it's time to stop blaming other people, that you have the ability from within you to help heal whatever hurts you. And that's what hypnotherapy can do. I spend most of my work. So I specialize. But that's how we use this.
Oh, great. Thank you, Barbara. Great. I appreciate that insight. So the other thing, when I was studying the emotion code, which I can do a free session, just book a free emotion code session for half an hour, I learned from Bradley Nelson that our cells are 99.999% space. And science is like, how do we define that space? So even scientists are starting to call that spirit or energy, you know. And so before I used to like chase God and wonder if I'm holding my mouth right. And then I realized when I read that, oh my goodness, God is infused every cell of my body. There's no more chasing God. You know, God is so defining so much with me always. Love is always with me. And then also I learned in that, and maybe it was you, Barbara, so correct me if I'm wrong, that the energy from the mom is definitely within the baby and the pregnancy, but the influence from the father of the baby arrives at 3 months, energetically or DNA wise or something? Have you-
Even in the beginning,
Well, there's a special, because for the emotion code, we release trapped emotions from our ancestors, and he says that there's some sort of infusement.
well,
at
I
3
believe
months.
it's preconception. So put it
Preconception.
that.
Okay, I did not want to leave the guys out of being part of
That's
that,
true.
okay? Yeah,
It's really true.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You guys are divine too.
Yeah.
Jim's like, obviously, yeah, but yes, there's, well, and you're saying preconception, so, yeah, great. All right, anyone else want to come up and share? Tina's on her way, Tina's speaking next month. I'll get her blurb out next week.
My practice itself is based on that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And my clients come at different levels of spiritual awareness. So for those beginners that don't have that awareness yet, first thing I always do is I have them drop into your loving heart. What does that mean to you? And for me, it means getting out of our analytical mind, that little surface bit, dropping into the energy of our heart. Of course, I always ask them, what do you believe happens after you die? Is this it? Well, who or what created you to start those sparks of spiritual awareness? And we dive deeper, and then again for those, then I say, okay, there's a deeper part of your mind that has all the answers, all the solutions. That is non-local. It's called the quantum field of possibilities. And
Right.
science is now proving what it's been trying to teach us all along, that there is a greater reality that makes our little corner of this reality possible. That we truly do have all the answers. So I consider myself a spiritual coach.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Thank you for that,
Sharing
Tina.
today.
Yeah, very, very good. Yes. Hey, I love that. I had a client who really went through a lot in her teenage years, and she's a friend of mine. She comes to me just when things get kind of start to unravel. But at one point, I'm like, oh God, I don't know, because you're not supposed to take on people that have problems beyond your capacity to help them. And so I'm like, oh, how can I help this client? And I heard soul to soul. It's your soul speaking to her soul. You'll figure it out. You'll both figure it out. And that's why I named my YouTube channel Soul to Soul. And then, so when she came in that next session, I said, your soul is going to tell you everything you need to know. I trust your soul to speak to you and my soul to guide you. And she said, with all the counseling I've done, no one's ever said that I could trust myself. So that was really neat, that she could begin to trust her own answer. Yeah, so that was cool. Just confirming that concept. Good. Anyone else want to share? Okay. Well, good. I am going to just turn off the recording. We have a while longer in our meeting just to network. So thanks so much for being part of NGHWA, and